but very small amount of light leakage. If we come around the side, a slight minor point with the remote is to eject it. Normally to eject PCM and express slots is you basically have this sort of latch, and you push it once to bring it out, and you push it once to eject, and that ejects it and put it back. Is that it's not locked, is that you can actually just get your thumbnail around it and pull it out. So it's just friction that's holding that in, which is a little bit alarming, because I think, what if it falls out? But this is so light that it never has, and this is kind of useful. And this works in absolutely sort of anything, especially with Vista. When you go into sort of to see a slideshow, it works in slideshows. It works in the multimedia side of things. It works with media player as well. This is really good. Would have been nice, so when you plugged it in, these are all sort of dummy connectors, to say when you plug it in, recharge. But if you recharge, then this remote would have a life, because we know rechargeable batteries don't last forever. So it was a bit of a play-off, I think. I think they probably thought about it and thought, no, if we put a really cheap, it's one of those watch CR032 batteries, I think, or whatever, very common. If we put that in it, then it'll be fine, and they'll have to replace it every 3 years or something. And that's that, really. So that was slightly worrying, but nothing to really be concerned about. At the back we've got the lock. I do intend to get a lock, but they're really hard to buy at the minute. PC World don't sell them. 2 USB ports are pretty useless here. They always seem to fail the mouse, because if I put a USB connector in the side of that, I've got one here, there we are, is that when this is out, it's going to fail the mouse, or it might get close to the mouse, or I feel conscious that it's going to fail the mouse, at least. There we are, like that sort of thing. So, sorry, I just accidentally deleted now. But, so I don't use those, very rarely. I might plug a camera into it just to download stuff, but that's it. On a day-to-day I wouldn't use those at all, because they're just too close to the mouse area. The Wi-Fi strength of the Wi-Fi is absolutely brilliant. I'm really chuffed with the Wi-Fi. I've had a couple of times when I've put it in suspend mode and the Wi-Fi just hasn't come on, even though I've clicked it on. The Bluetooth light come on, but the Wi-Fi light doesn't, and you just got to shut down and restart. Now apparently this button here is the Wi-Fi capture, and with it off, even with the laptop off apparently, is that you can actually hit that, and depending on the flashes will tell you whether or not you're in a hotspot zone, and depending on the flashes will tell you whether it's secured or unsecured. So if you're wandering around, you can be hitting the side of this, which is under your arm, and you can just see from the flashes whether or not you're in a zone, and you can pick up Wi-Fi or not. I've never actually tried it, it's just not the sort of thing I walk around with, but I'm quite impressed with that, and you don't need to have the laptop switched on to do that, apparently. So that's the basic. Oh, the LCD display, I do use it quite a lot, mainly for seeing what tracks are playing. I don't really use it for much more than that, to be fair. I have a countdown timer if I've got a pie in the oven or something, and you can set this via the software. The software that comes with it is Dell based, but if you download the Logitech you get much more tools. Trying to find plugins for this is kind of hard work, but more and more new updates for programs such as Vent now embrace this. So if I was to fire up Vent, let me just fire it up and connect. There we are. So now if I cycle through it, there should be a vent option in there now. There we are. So, which is really useful. So I'm currently in the lobby, and with the, there we are. So I'm currently in the channel. So you can see who's in the channel. So you don't have to break out your game to see who's in the room you're talking to. And you can see as people join or leave, and it tells you about them. It tells you when they speak. So you know when 4 people speak at once, you can see all 4 people speak, which is kind of useful in game as well. So I am actually really chuffed with that, and with the Logitech icon, there we are, let's see if I can get this in focus, but if you kill it, then basically the display just goes blank. It's sort of bright, but it's blank. The microphones are kind of cool. I'm going to put the lights back on now. The microphones are kind of cool. They're stereo. A stereo mic, so it sort of enhances a bit more, I guess. They call it a mic array. I guess technically it is an array because it's more than one. And it also has the camera, and it has a little blue LED which fires up here. It is all badged up as Dell, but it is actually a Logitech camera, there we are, you can see the thumbprints there. See what I was saying about grease marks and what have you? There we are, you can see them there. So it does suffer from greasy finger syndrome. The keypad, have I used it? Yeah, I do actually. If I got a lot of numbers to punch in, like a credit card, I use it. I use it a hell of a lot. And it sort of pushes you, you sort of tend to use more the left hand 3/4 of the screen. This area, as you can see from the way I've got my icons, I rarely use this edge of the screen. Not because I don't want to, just because I seem to be more centred to here. But when you're playing games, of course, because I have the mouse over here and my left hand here, I sit more sort of centre, but when I'm typing I sit more to the left, or I sort of use it more to the left. Basically it's the pad is in the middle of the keyboard, which is in this side of the screen. But it's not really a problem, it's just the way that you use the tool. Another thing is that when you put it down on your table, is that don't put it on paper. What happens is that the fans suck up from underneath and then blow out to the back. I'm going to try and show you here if I put it on its side. Here we are. You can see the fans. So what happens is that, imagine this is on the table at this angle. I've got a piece of paper here. So you put it on a piece of paper. What happens is it actually pulls the paper against the fans and blocks them. So it gets really hot then. Very, very hot. It doesn't overheat, doesn't cause any problems, but it just gets a lot hotter. So you've got to make sure that you take paper away and you put it on a flat surface, because the feet are raised to a specific height for a reason, so there's enough airflow that can get through these fans. Obviously you put a bit of paper there, as soon as you turn it on it sucks into it, creates a vacuum, and then it doesn't overheat, it just gets hotter than it should. Well, I think it should. The battery storage, I'm actually not that bothered about it. I've never really come into a position, if I really knock everything down, and a lot of people have said this, oh, it's not performing. You need to basically go into the modes, power options, and you get three, Dell recommended, power saver and high performance. If I put it on high performance, I'm looking at, on battery, I'm looking about realistically 40 minutes, but that is screen to the max, everything on, no compromise at all with power. If I put low power and I knock the screen down, I could probably get about 1:50 out of it, maybe 2 hours if I'm really careful, depending what your disk usage is. So I am actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was. What about the brick? The brick actually isn't too much of a problem. I mean, it is big and it does get warm. It's quite a nice thing to actually put your feet on. Actually, you do get quite nice warm feet with that. So that's quite nice. It is kind of big, but it does charge up the battery really fast, so I'm quite chuffed. Build quality, I'm really impressed with it. It is, still a solid piece of granite. One thing about the smoke colour, which I didn't really appreciate, is that when it's off, it's smoke, it goes very dull and grey, but when you turn it on, especially in the dark, it goes white, so it looks more like a bone. So that's one thing for getting smoke, as in if you get the bone colour, the white colour, is that it's white, and when you turn it on, it's brighter white. So, I'm still really pleased that I went for the smoke. I'm pleased I didn't go for the red or the blue. I think it's just a bit too leery, but that's really for your own tastes. So that's it really. I'm really chuffed with it. I had to get a monster bag to fit it in. That's the other thing. I would have probably gone for the option for the Dell bag. But I had to get myself a crumpler, a Tech Air, from PC World, the biggest one they do, and it just about fits in it. So that's really it. That really concludes everything about the 1730. So I'm still really pleased with it. Very, very good performance still. I think it's going to last a long time. So we'll see how it goes.